Cactus on top of the announcer's table, Cactus would start climbing the cell until Stephanie would grab him by the legs and try to stop him.
Because they were afraid that he was going to jump off the cell onto Triple H.
Yeah, which, I mean,
It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what they were, like, implying was obviously going to happen next, you know. But
that was dumb.
Oh, it's Cactus Jack.
That is true.
It's Cactus Jack. Yeah, he wasn't afraid to take any risks, that's for sure.
No.
He wasn't afraid to put it all on the line. So, he'd pull out a hidden barbed wire 2x4 and hit Triple H in the head.
Yeah, that was a clean shot.
Triple H would try to get away from Cactus by climbing the cell, and then Cactus would come after him. He'd put the barbed wire 2x4 on top of the cell first, which would end up being a mistake because then Triple H would grab it, and then he'd use the barbed wire 2x4 and rub it against his face and would stomp on his hands, cause him to fall off and crash to the announcer's table below.
Yeah, that was
not as bad of a landing, obviously, as the one he had at the 1998 King of the Ring.
Definitely.
Yeah, not quite that to that
at
extent,
least,
but a good bump nonetheless.
Yeah, it was a good bump. He was able to get up and able to climb up the cell anyway.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yeah, so then after that, he'd get back up. He'd climb to the top, and then right as he gets there, Triple H would start hitting him with the barbed wire 2x4. Cactus would blow him, and the fight would continue. There was an opening on the corner of the cell that Triple H almost fell through, I guess.
Oh, yeah, you can totally tell they almost did.
Yeah, that was giving way a bit. Then Cactus would hit a double arm DDT. With Triple H down, he grabbed the barbed wire 2x4 and lighted on fire. He'd hit him once in the face with it, or at least he tried to. He didn't really get much of it, which, I mean, that's...
He got him in the stomach.
Yeah. I think they said the face, but it didn't look like you got it really that much. But once again, it's a barbed wire 2x4 went on fire, so I mean, you can't really, like...
You can't tell.
Yeah, this isn't like a video game.
Yeah. It's in 2008.
Then he'd set it down, and then Cactus would look for a pile driver, but Triple H would counter into a back body drop, sending Cactus Jack through the roof of the cell, all the way down through the ring canvas.
Yeah, that.
But this time, that spot was planned, because a couple years ago, when he had that Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker, when the cell gave way, that was actually not planned to happen at that spot.
Yeah.
So, but this one was. So, but then, once again, right when you think he's down for good, he starts moving again.
Yeah, I don't know how people do that.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell he did that. But there wouldn't be much he could really do, as Triple H would surely hit a pedigree afterwards for the win and retain the WWF title. Great Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Loved it. 4.5 from you, 4.25 from me. Triple H win 23 minutes, 57 seconds.
Believe it or not, I was actually thinking I was this close of making it a 5.
Wow. No, it was great nonetheless. I'm not discrediting this, and I mean, this was another great match from both of them. I think for some people you could say that maybe some people may have liked the Rumble match that they had a month prior. They may have liked it a little bit better. For me, kind of the fence. I just view them both as classics, and I just think that they both deserve their own praise.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm not really here for this particular thing, I don't really know if I have an opinion of which one I enjoy particularly more.
In my opinion, I think this is the greatest Hell in a Cell match of all time.
It's definitely up there, man. No doubt.
Yeah.
Following the match, Foley would refuse help and would be able to make his way out on his own power. He'd receive a standing ovation from the crowd, and much deservedly so. And they'd really try to sell this as Foley's final match. But of course, in the aftermath to follow, Big Show and Rock would continue to feud over competing for the world title at WrestleMania. On the March 13th edition of Raw, Rock would face Big Show in a match where if Rock lost, his career would be over. This seems like it's becoming a little bit of a theme here as far as careers being on the line.
I know, what?
But if he won, he'd go on to Mania to challenge for the gold. In this match, we see Shane McMahon serve as special guest referee, pretty much to ensure that The Rock wouldn't make it. But we'd also see the return of Vince McMahon, who'd make his return in his first appearance since his match with Triple H at Armageddon of 1999 last December, which took him out of commission for a few months. He'd first appear arriving in a limo. Triple H would go to confront him, and then Vince would lay him out with his fist. He'd make his way to the ring. He'd hit Shane, and then he'd hit him over the head with a chair. And then The Rock would hit the rock bottom. Vince would take over as a guest referee and the official. And he'd count to 3, and then The Rock would be back in the main event of WrestleMania. Then on the next episode of SmackDown, Shane would add Triple H. No, not add Triple H. He'd add Big Show back into the fold, making it a triple threat match. Then on the March 20th edition of Raw, the triple threat match would actually take place here, in which Triple H won. Following that, Linda McMahon would appear and announce that Triple H would still be facing Big Show and The Rock at WrestleMania, but he'd also be facing Mick Foley, making it an elimination 4-way for the title at WrestleMania 2000. Each McMahon would be in a corner of one of the 4 participants. Stephanie would obviously be in Triple H's, Shane would be in Big Show's, Vince would be in The Rock's, and Linda would be in Foley's corner. So as far as the show as a whole, I thought it was still a pretty good show. I thought it was a really solid show. It was a 7 for me, it was 7.5 for me, but I liked it, and it's cool going back 20 years, and especially seeing the Sound of Sun match. That was obviously the highlight of the night. But
definitely.
And that's why I wanted to do the show, actually.
Right.
It's because of this match.
I honestly didn't put 2 and 2 together.
But, but obviously seeing this and witnessing that again, that obviously made it quite appear. So, that's all we got for this rewind. Hope you guys liked it. Of course, we're going to go through the usual reminders here about what's upcoming, and we're going to, of course, point out our usual reminders. So, of course, coming up, we have WWE No Way Out 2007. That's going to be a little bonus JNC Rewind, because there's not going to be any JNC Radio this Monday, unfortunately, but we're going to have that in place of that. It's going to be a little later, obviously, than when the usual JNC Radio would drop. So it's going to be a little later in the day. 5 p.m. Eastern Time is the slotted time for that right now. So be sure to check that out. But we're going to try to just do something in place of that, of course. And also, we're going to be doing now next week for our next JNC Rewind, minus the bonus one we're going to be doing for Monday show. We're going to have No Way Out 2001, so we're going to continue the No Way Out. We're going to continue the No Way Out trend here.
Yes, we are.
We're going to be doing No Way Out 2001, which is considered by many to be one of the greatest pay-per-views of all time. So we look forward to be doing that.
Really, and it's a pay-per-view before Mania.
I know. Yeah, so they went from the 2001 Rumble, great shows, to this, which I guess apparently is also a great show. And the WrestleMania X7, considered by many to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time. So, like, holy shit. So, got a hell of a lineup there. And, of course, we already did the 2001 Royal Rumble, so if you haven't already, check that out. We're going to be doing the 2001 Royal Rumble, and then, of course, WrestleMania X7. That'll be coming up, too. Then following that, we have the St. Valentine's Day Massacre of 1999. That's following the 1999 Royal Rumble, another show which we've already done for the previous rewinds. So, so as I said before, like we did the 99 Rumble, we're doing St. Valentine's Day Massacre. We probably should find a way to get WrestleMania 15 in there, because it only makes sense.
Yeah, we should try to, I would say. Even if we have to do it, like, on a bonus day, like, on just a random day.
So then Monday's show for that week is going to be, of course, our NXT TakeOver Portland review and recap. Then following that, we'll be back for our last JNC Rewind of the month, which will be No Way Out of 2008. So that'll be the final JNC Rewind of the month. And then, of course, whatever follows that. Of course, we have JNC Radio set for that Monday, and there will be AEW Revolution coming up on weekday this year, 29th. So our show will be March 1st. So probably could preview that and talk about some other things in between there. So we probably could get JNC Radio out there for that. But of course, we're going to flip-flop things here, because usually Sundays are the JNC Rewinds, and the Mondays are the pay-per-view and review and recaps. But since this is a Saturday night pay-per-view,
Yeah, all the AEW pay-per-views.
we're going to be flip-flopping here. So we're going to be doing Sunday at 10. That'll be the AEW Revolution review and recap. And then following that will be Monday, 11. That'll be our JNC Rewind. And then it'll be WrestleMania X7. Then following that, we're going to be back the next week, back in our usual order. We'll be doing JNC Rewind.
WrestleMania season.
Yeah, this time we'll be doing WrestleMania 21, another one of my personal favorites, in my opinion, one of the greatest ever. Then after that, we'll be doing the Elimination Chamber 2020 review and recap. Then we'll be back for an all WrestleMania weekend here. We're going to be doing 2 JNC Rewinds.
I just realized something. Are we going to be doing Super Showdown this month? I think it's this month.
What's the date?
That's a good question.
They haven't announced it, really, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. New Day's facing Miz and Morrison at Super.
Oh wait! Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, we should probably get that in there. I don't know when, but we probably should.
We'll look at the date.
Right. Yeah, we'll get the date here. So we're gonna have an all WrestleMania weekend for. I say weekend. It's Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing WrestleMania 23 and 24. That'll be like for a Sunday and Monday, so we give you 2 rewinds that week, both WrestleManias. Then following that, we'll be back with going to head back a little bit further past 2008, 2007. We're going to go back to WrestleMania 10. That'll be our next JNC Rewind following that. Then, of course...
The year after, the miserable WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, maybe someday we'll do that, but it's not one I'm really, truly looking forward to. And then, of course, after that... we'll have JNC Radio lined up as of right now. Maybe somewhere in there we'll get the WrestleMania 15 in there because we keep talking about how we did the 2. We're going to be doing the 299 shows. So maybe we'll get it in there. Maybe. Also, of course, we're going to have the WrestleMania 19. We're going to have that JNC Rewind, another one of my personal favorites. Then, of course, we'll have JNC Radio on that Monday at 11 because it'll be the week before NXT TakeOver Tampa and WrestleMania 36. So we got to do it.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the April lineup, we'll have WWE Backlash 2008 for the first JNC Rewind post-Mania. We'll have JNC Radio. We'll have an all-Impact weekend here. We'll be doing TNA Lockdown 2009. That'll be our second TNA JNC Rewind, technically. And then we'll be having Impact Wrestling's Rebellion review and recap for their next pay-per-view. That'll take place on April 19th. And then our final JNC Rewind of the month will be ECW Barely Legal of 1997. ECW's first ever pay-per-view event. So, once again, that is the upcoming lineup. Once again, got to run through that. Just keep everyone updated, but... So I hope you guys like the show. Sure to check it out. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell the ones you care about us. And be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JNC Radio. That is JNC_radio. That is J capital AND C_radio. Be sure to like our Facebook page. Be sure to check out our website, jncradio.weebly.com. It's got all the updates on there. It's got direct links to past previous shows and episodes, whatever you would like to, whatever the correct terminology you'd like to use. So you can check that out. And, of course, we're unavailable on all major platforms, including Spreaker.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Podcast Addict, you name it, we're pretty much there. We are also, we recently just got added to another podcasting site called Podchaser. That is the latest one we've been added onto, so be able to check that out. YouTube, check us out all over the place. Many different ways to access this program. Love doing this for you. Love the direction we're heading in right now, and just stay tuned for the ride. I guess that's all I can say.
Yeah. You never know what's going to happen. Never know what's going to pop up.
Yeah.
You better stay tuned.
Absolutely. So